Let's see, we got Tiffany inside the room. Hey, Tiffany, can you hear me? Looks like our audio is getting connected. There we go. Hey, what's up, Tiffany?
Hey, Marlon, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
Good, I am. So, yeah, I wasn't sure if we were on for today. I was trying to figure out how to get on, but I'm glad I got the email.
Yeah, 100%. Did you not get a calendar link? What happens is when you book through Calendly, it usually pops up on your Google Calendar.
So, no, I didn't. I got a text message
Interesting.
about it. Yeah, I did. I kept getting
Oh,
the text.
yeah, no worries. Yeah, because on my calendar, some people like get it like directly to their calendar, and other people they say like they don't see it.
Right.
So I'll figure out what's going on with that.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I'm not going to take up a whole lot of your time. I know you are a busy man. So the question, and I'm working, so excuse me if I'm not looking directly.
No worries.
Yeah. So I have a question about how you how do you know or find, how do you do the research on the title companies that you've used?
Oh, that's easy. So yeah,
So
no,
I'm
I love
having
it.
an issue because I've been working on pre-foreclosures. You know, Carolina's like stop a pre-foreclosure, right? So I'm working on it. But the title companies that are, I'm in North Carolina.
Okay.
And the issue is that like one of them said that, yeah, they do creative finance, but they don't do pre-foreclosures.
Okay. And when they say they don't do pre-foreclosure, what does that mean exactly? Like when you ask if they did pre-foreclosures, because that's typically a question I never ask. I never asked the question, do you do pre-foreclosures? So when you asked them that question, what were you asking exactly?
So I was asking if I had, so the type of property was a pre-foreclosure, and she kind of stopped me. So I was trying to get a title search done. And I was letting her know that it was a pre-foreclosure. So it already had an auction date and so on and so forth. And she was like, okay, well, we're not going to do that. We don't work with pre-foreclosures.
Okay. So one, I would say, not a big deal. We'd just move on to another title company. I would ask them though, why is it that they don't work with pre-foreclosures? To get a better understanding. Because when someone says, like the title company says to me, they don't work with pre-foreclosures, what I'm wondering is, are they concerned that possibly they may begin doing work on it and the property may go to auction? And so they do this work for nothing. So I would want to find out why they're actually saying that.
Right.
Because then you could potentially realize that, oh, they're willing to transact your file, but they're just concerned with, hey, we don't want to do this work. And then 2 days later, you're like, oops, it went to auction.
Right. Okay. Okay. So yeah. But do you have any other advice on as far as finding title companies?
Yep. So I mean, because finding title companies is relatively easy. I mean, there's so many of them, it's not even funny. So the first thing I would do is, and I'm gonna mute you while I talk because there's a little bit of feedback coming through. So the first thing I would do is, one, I would reach out to other investors in my local market or in that particular marketplace and just very simply ask, hey, which title companies have y'all been using? Right. So that's how I pretty much find any title company anytime I go to a new market. I'm just like, hey, which title companies have you used? I'll usually get people throw me 3 or 4 names, and I call the title company up and I just do a quick little interview with them where I'm asking, hey, I'm getting ready to do some marketing in this area. I'm getting ready to start investing here. Just wanted to find out, do y'all work with investors? If they say yes, I'm like, okay, awesome. Listen, sometimes I purchase or I put too many properties under contract and I'm looking to assign the contracts over to other investors. So do you process assignment of contracts? Are you okay with doing that? If they say no, then you already found out that's a title company you don't want to work with. right? But most of them will say, yeah, we got no problem doing assignment of contracts. Awesome. Hey, and sometimes, when we do have some of these properties, we might do a double closing. Are you familiar with double closing, and does your title company process double closings? And if so, what does that process look like? I want to find out, like, essentially, because I want to know, will they allow me to do a B to C closing first so that I can then use the funds from the B to C to close on the A to B transaction? Does that make sense? Perfect. So we want to ask them that question as well. The next is, of course, the creative, like, hey, there are some instances where we purchase homes from the homeowners and they're willing to do a seller carry or seller financing. If we did seller financing as your title company, do you process seller financing? 9 out of 9 times they're going to say absolutely. You say great. When it comes to doing the seller financing, can your title company draft up a promissory note, or do you need us to bring our own promissory notes? Most of the time they'll say, we'll draft a promissory note for you if you provide the details. Right? So then we're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Hey, we also purchase properties, creatively as well, which sometimes what we'll do is we'll take over properties that already have a mortgage and the homeowners maybe don't have equity. We'll take over the home subject to. Do you process subject to transactions as well? Again, if they're open to assignment, if they're open to double close, if they're open to seller financing, odds are they will also be open to subject twos. And we just want to ask them that. They may say, hey, we do subject twos, but we don't do VA loans or FHA loans, right? We only do conventional. Okay, no worries. Or if they don't even bring that up, I'd ask them, are there any sort of loans that you don't process for a subject to? Right. And the cool thing here is, like, we're not trying to like almost like trick them into doing our transactions. I want to find out what's on their menu. Right. So, like, I'm simply walking into the store and they're like any other establishment, they're any other business. I want to know, hey, what's on your menu? Do you have these items on your menu? Can I order these sort of items here? If not, awesome. Like, I will go and eat lunch somewhere else if you don't have what I'm looking for. Because there's so many title companies that will say yes. And typically the shortest way to find them is just getting referrals from other investors who have already transacted with them. I mean, that's how I've found pretty much every title company I've ever used. Also, if you talk to Caleb Christopher inside Sub2, he also, I believe him and also Love Francis have worked on a list of essentially like as many investor-friendly title companies that they found throughout the US. Also, I still got you on mute, so I'll unmute you here.
Okay, gotcha. The HER. So I was trying to take notes at the same time. And Love Francis.
Mm-hmm. And don't worry, this is like you got to go back and rewatch it like it's recorded too.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess that is pretty much it. So I'll see you Wednesday.
I love it. That was like the quickest, like, how can I help? I love that.
Yeah. So I'm working on it. I am. But that was just one of the problems that I was running into, besides, no, or the hangups or whatever. But when I do go all the way through and talk to people, like, they're desperate. So the issue is getting it done in a week. So that's the challenge, because of course, initially they'll say, no, or hang up, I got it covered. And then, so I think, I'm not sure what's going on, but I use a list of attorneys, or so the trustee attorney, right? So I pull them up directly from the website. I see what's going on, and then some of them will be removed. And then, a month later, they're back up, or a couple of weeks later, the same address is back up. And then I end up calling them back. And then I make contact. I can go walk the property, and they're open to actually selling for what's left, like the remainder of the mortgage. But the issue is finding a title company that will actually get it done quickly, I guess. So yeah, that's where my dilemma is at the moment.
Yeah, and just,
Yeah.
just interview the title companies. Like when you call them and just ask them those questions, just letting them know, like, hey, when we purchase these properties, we are buying homes from sometimes people in distressed situations. So we need to be able to process paperwork and transactions quickly.
Right.
Like, is your title company capable of, like, what's the average turnaround time for you when you get a new file?
Okay.
Again, like they want your business
Right.
because they don't make money unless they transact deals.
Right. Okay. Okay. Great. All
Awesome.
right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anything else that you need?
No, that's about it. So I do appreciate your time.
Awesome.
I
Well, Tiffany,
do.
I appreciate you. I'll see
Yeah,
you on Wednesday morning.
you will indeed. Maybe not my face, but I'll be on there. Yeah, I'm trying to get up to raising my hand, but I hadn't got there yet.
Well, trust me when I say throw yourself in the fire because you will never feel ready. But when you throw yourself in, that's where you start getting a lot more. You get a lot of experience a lot faster.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Like that whole environment is a place to literally come and make mistakes. Like it's not the place to come and be perfect. It is like, hey, come here and mess up in a place where after you mess up, we can reset the stage and do it again, and reset the stage and do it again, and reset the stage. Whereas when we're talking to the actual sellers, if I mess up, I kind of lost my stage.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been there too. I've
So
been
that's
there. Yeah.
that's the whole purpose of those role play rooms. It's really not to be a fly on the wall because there's plenty of like videos you can go and watch and Zoom vaults and all that good stuff. But this is now the equivalent of, okay, we're getting out of the stands, and we're getting down onto the court, and we're getting our reps in.
Yeah. Okay. I understand. I got you. I do.
I love it. And let me ask real quick, what's your focus? Is it primarily wholesale? Is it buy and hold? What are you looking to do?
So at the moment, it's going to be wholesale. Because I'm trying to build cash flow. So yeah, that's where I am now.
Okay.
To wholesale.
All right. And are you doing any door knocking or is it primarily phone calls and SMS?
So I am doing, well, you know what? My daughter's home from UK and she ain't going back. So I'm gonna take her out. I told her this morning, hey, we're gonna go out and knock some doors this week. Yeah, because she's sitting at the house not doing it. So
Yep.
I'm gonna take her out and we plan on doing some door knocking this week. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
Let me ask, do you have a number set, like as far as like a target?
I have, so I'm kind of in a smaller town. So I have 20. Well, yeah, right around 20 here in Alamance County, but I'm surrounded by like Greensboro and Raleigh. So kind of, well, Durham. So I don't know if I was thinking about maybe trying to do Greensboro this weekend. And I have a list of like, I mean, it's I know it's like 100 of them, and I know we won't knock all of those. But I'm thinking if time allows, we can do as many as we can.
Set a
So
target
no.
for yourself. Set a target, whether it's like the number is 10, 15, 20, give yourself something to aim at. Because then you need, it's like any good science experiment, there needs to be a constant, there needs to be like some variable that can now be used as like the rock and everything else is being referenced against that rock. But if there's no one variable that's a constant that's not changing, then everything else you're doing is all being built on like a shaky foundation. So you need something to then say, okay, we had set a target of 20, we only got through 5. Now we can adjust based off of some reality. But if there is no number, just kind of go out there and do it. There's nothing to say, well, maybe we could have gone a little bit faster, or maybe we could have gone a little bit slower, or maybe we could have. There needs to be some sort of hypothesis that you're going against, something to start with. So
Okay.
set a target for yourself, whether it's 20 doors, 10 doors, it could be 20 doors by the end of the week, 20 doors by the end of the day, which, by the way, is a lot of doors. Like hitting 20 doors in a day.
Yeah. So I'm
decent
gauging the
target.
neighborhood. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, just make it a point to go out and like hit these doors hard. And then also while you're doing it, record a bit of the process, like document the process. Maybe if you're not like directly in front of the house, but at least like every time you get back in the car, just, hey, I knocked the first door, it was a little nerve-wracking, this, and this, like just document that process and have it and share it as you go. Because you're gonna see what will happen there is that's planting seeds for later for the future. Like these little actions that later on when people are like, well, Tiffany, what do you do? And you're able to show them this is what you've been doing. And then you start to build credibility in the future when people are like, who the hell are you knocking on my door? Right. And you can literally say, hey, look at my social media, and they'll see the way that you're going out and why you're doing it and how you're doing it and how you're overcoming yourself to be able to go out and help other people. And they're going to recognize like, oh, she's not just another person out here looking out for herself. She's actually looking out for others.
Okay.
So if you have that stuff built up over time, it will speak for you. It'll help in your development and in your just entire process. Does that make sense?
It does. Yes, it definitely does. So do you know if there's any videos that are like that? Like, I think me and Alexis were talking, but it was, of course, virtual. And I get on YouTube and watch y'all, but like a video that I guess documents the actual going up to somebody's house. This is the conversation. This is how it went. So what you're telling me to do, I can't seem to catch them live. Does that make sense?
No, I got you. Yeah, and like what I'm saying is you're not gonna like go and like film them in their face like while you're not
right.
But for yourself, like after you go and you knock, or think just like you're explaining like in the phone in the camera, hey, I'm gonna go knock some doors today. This is what I'm intending to do. This is why I'm out here. You just explain yourself, and then afterwards coming back and giving a debrief.
Right. Like this is what happened. This is how it went. So on and so forth. Okay.
Because one, you'll be helping other people, and then also later on when people are like, who the heck are you? You can literally point them to your social media.
Right. Okay.
Like, and I've done this before. Like, I've pointed like sellers when they're like, who are you? I'm like, go look at my social media. Like, go check out my Instagram.
Right.
Right. Because like now they're going to get a better sense of me. And then I have nothing to hide. So go ahead and like learn who I am. And ultimately what you want them to see is integrity. You want them to see someone whose actions and words are in alignment.
Okay. All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm rarely post on Instagram.
You watched the Brent Daniels and Pace Morby pre-foreclosure video?
I have plenty of times. Yeah, I have.
So I mean that right there, it's like really the best video for pre-foreclosures in my opinion. And of course, Alexis Morgan, her stuff is phenomenal. We got Tawana, who's out in Arizona. She's knocking and doing the same sort of thing. It really is. It's just showing up authentically and just being willing to go out and hit the doors, hit the numbers. Like if you knock those doors, you will get plenty of no's, but you will also get yeses.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. I'll post if I stop one. Yeah.
Even if you don't stop one, share. Trust me when I say document the journey.
Yeah.
Like it will do a lot for you. It'll do more for you than you can even like imagine if you just simply document the journey. Okay.
I will definitely do that. And if I take my daughter, she loves the film, the pictures, the Instagram. So I'm sure we can make it happen. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. Cool. Well, I'll let you get back to your day unless there's anything else you want to ask.
No, I guess that's it. Yeah, I can't think of anything. I think my main question was how you research the title companies. So thank you, because I don't interview, and I will from now on. I'll see if I can ask the questions and yeah, make sure they do what's needed. Yeah.
And the easiest way to start, like, just ask other investors, hey, which title companies have y'all used? Like, they're not, like, people aren't like stingy with their title companies.
Yeah.
I give my title companies away all day. Like, when someone asks me, like, I don't even think about it. I put them in a text message with like my escrow officers, like, hey, meet this person, boom.
Okay. All right. Okay, great. Sounds good then.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate you making time for me today.
Yeah. You. I'm honored. So
Well,
thank you.
I'll see you on the Wednesday morning call, and hopefully you're volunteering.
We'll see.
Awesome.
We
Well,
will see, but yeah, I'll see you Wednesday.
okay, perfect. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thanks. You too.
Take care. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.